Welcome everyone. This is game number 12, I believe, in my Road to Class A series. I appreciate you guys checking out my journey and following me along on trying to reach National Master as an adult. We're a long way from that, but we are on the road to Class A. I'm making slow, steady improvements. That's kind of what you want. It's always great to get that super big jump in massive rating game, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to gain expertise, knowledge, and skill so we can improve and slowly reach our way, up and up to Class A expert and then master. So I'm sitting at 1656 right now, so I've had a steady climb. I've gained over 300 points in the last year and a half. So I'm doing really well. I can't complain at all. I'm gaining a lot of knowledge. I feel pretty strong. And this game is round 2 of the Cold Weather Swiss at my local club. And I'm playing a gentleman named Michael Lawrence. I've played other tournament games against him as well. I think I presented one other one before. And this one was a fun game. I enjoyed this one. I get to play a King's Indian defense. So let's get into it. I knew that he was an English player, so I was actually able to prep this game pretty well. And I knew the line that he played. And I'm going to kind of fast forward through this a little bit quickly and get into the middle game because I think this is where it's most fun. And I got every single move I wanted out of the opening. So right here, we're pretty close. And here is where I thought that there could be a deviation. So I got everything I wanted. And here I was expecting or hoping for bishop to d2, followed by queen to c1. So I was expecting this variation. And we were going to play from here. I was expecting this, and I'm okay with this. I'm happy with this type of maneuver. I'd probably play here and then play for f5 right away. He didn't play that. He was a little bit more aggressive, which I was surprised about. He played bishop to g5, which I thought was a very good move. And I thought, well, this whole last week, I did something that I don't normally do. And what I did was, and I'll show it later after this stream, but I'll explain what I did. I went into ChessBase and I looked through the variations because I was fairly confident I would get to this position without any deviation whatsoever. The transposition and move order didn't really matter, but I felt that we would get here unscathed and then we would play from here. So I played from this position many games in the ChessBase database. And I just clicked through them over and over and over. I just looked at all the Grandmaster games, not all of them, but I clicked through as many as I could where black won to try to get an idea and cram some positions into my head about how black would proceed. Given my last game, if you haven't checked out that video, please do. There'll be a link to it somewhere, I'm sure. Otherwise, it's game number 11, I believe, with Mr. Coons. And my lack of planning or knowing what to do in the early middle game to middle game phase was the deciding factor in that game. So I decided to try to figure out how to correct that. And what I did was I just clicked through a whole bunch of games. I didn't really try to go through and deep analysis on them. All I did was click through, and I'll show you after this video or later in the stream about why or what I did. And it helped a lot because it kind of showed me 50 or 60 games of how the Grandmaster proceeds and where they decide to put their pieces. So I had at least the ideas in my head on where my pieces should go or the direction I should take. So that was extremely helpful in this game, and you'll see it here because my play is much stronger than it was previously. So yeah, knight to c6 and bishop to g5. And the idea is to immediately challenge the bishop with h6, and they have to make a decision. Either they come back, which is fine. I'm okay with that because I can still continue on. My plan is clear. I want to get my bishop here, my queen here, and try to trade off this light squared bishop. And so I was hoping for them to go back, and he didn't. He took, and I was okay with that. And you might want to take with the queen, and I think it's an okay move. But I remember from clicking through all the Grandmaster games that most people did not take back with the queen. They took back with the bishop. So I decided to take back with the bishop, not calculating a whole lot, just realizing that the queen is a little bit better placed on d8 than on f6. And I didn't see many Grandmasters or Masters playing queen takes f6. I think there were a few, but I saw bishop takes far more times in this particular sequence. So I went that route, and I kind of assumed that he would, attack the pawn, and then I can just drop the bishop back. And now I'm at a point where he needs to figure out his plan, and I've already got my plan. I still want to continue on with this and get this battery and kind of trade on g2 or h3. That's what I'm going to go for. And White's plan, the really great thing about going through all these games was I figured out what White was supposed to do. So I knew what White was supposed to do, and I could kind of play into it a little bit because I knew White wants to expand on the queen side. So White has his pawn chain pointing this way. They want to play on this side of the board. Plus their bishop is, got this really great square. So he kind of played into what I thought he was going to. So I'm going to develop normally, and he wants to play b4. It's clear. He could have played it right away, but he challenged it first. So I'm going to play here because I know the sequence that was going to play out where we're going to trade on b4, and he's going to want to push his pawn to b5, and then I'm going to bring my knight over to the king side for a king side attack. And this is exactly what has happened in many Grandmaster games. And that kind of played out. And here, this is the first like real decision making I had to make in the game, which is kind of crazy because it's move 14. I thought, well, do I keep the open file and just play queen to d7 and continue with my plan, which is what I wanted to do. But I saw some phantoms, I think, with opening up this bishop on the diagonal that I didn't really like. So I made a prophylactic move that's it might be considered not good. It might be considered good. I don't know. I decided to give up the open file, which isn't really open, because he can move his rook over there and gain control of it anyways. And then it's just, the rooks are staring at each other, big deal. So what I did is I played rook to b8, protecting this pawn in the event that he eventually gets his bishop open, because I still haven't gotten my plan to trade it off in yet. Maybe that's not good. Maybe it doesn't matter. I'm guessing it probably doesn't matter. I could just play queen to d7 here instead and just go for it straight away. And I think, because now we've got this battery, and I think we're okay. But I played a little bit of a defensive move. Probably not necessary, but it ended up working out anyways. And he played b5. I kind of got exactly what I wanted. And he made that move, rook to b4, which to me was extremely weird. I talked to him after the game, and we had a really good postmortem. And his idea was to try to break through on the queen side with these pawn breaks. But after he made his plan, which is kind of played out like this, he realized that no matter which pawn he moves, I can lock it completely down, and then his plan was useless. And we talked about that in kind of detail. And he realized that if he pushes this pawn, I can just push this pawn. If he pushes this pawn, I can push this pawn, and there's not really a whole lot he can do to try to break through. And I said, I said, yeah, I did find that plan to be, when you played rook to b5, or b4, I was like, that was really kind of, I didn't understand your plan at that point, and which was really interesting. And uh-oh, something's happening. Hopefully this will correct. And yeah, we're getting some things, so there might be some lag on the stream. Okay, it looks like it got back to green, so maybe it's corrected itself. Looks like it probably has. But what I told him, I said, what I thought you would do is try to take over the A file, and then, so go here, and then bring your rooks to kind of come after this square. I thought that's what the kind of plan he should have made. Maybe that's good, maybe it's not, but I thought that would have been a better plan. But okay, I continued on with my plan. Queen to d7 with my battery coming into h3. He continued with his plan, and I said, okay, well, I get everything I wanted. And I was expecting him to take or leave it and let me take. This move, bishop to h1, I did not expect. And I think this is probably a losing move, because now the bishop's stuck. It has nowhere to go, and I have this constant pressure with this bishop that's here, and the king is stuck. It can't move at all. And I think it's probably, it's at a very minimum a mistake, but it's quite possibly a blunder not taking or letting me take the bishop, because now you're kind of stuck. And I talked to him about this, and he feels the same way. I'm not quite sure what the engine says. I did do a peek at the engine just to see where how the game went for me as a whole. And right now I'm feeling really good in my position. And that move, I was quite surprised on move 18. So I was pretty comfortable all the way up to this point. I spent 10 minutes on this move. Or he spent 10 minutes on the next move. I only spent, I spent a few minutes, and I played king to h7, mainly to be able to free up my bishop. I want to push f5, f4, and disrupt his king side. So now I'm going to start thinking about kind of making an attack and kind of going from there and opening some lines, because if I can open up the f file, I can move my rook up and move this rook over here, and I can have a really, really difficult attack coming, which will be with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, and right now he's only got 2. And yeah, this is going to be pretty tough to stop. So can he stop it? Yeah, I'm sure he probably can. He should probably move his bishop back to g2, but he played queen to c2, and which I thought that he might start now finally trying to fight for the a file and come after the b7 pawn. But I played f5, and he's moving pieces away from his king, which is maybe not so good. I think he's just trying to create any counterplay he can with opening the bishop up. And I get my plan. I play f4. He plays knight c to e4, trying to be a little bit more defensive and keep some pieces near the king side. And I decided to rip open his king side. I thought that he might play this, which I was kind of hoping for, because yeah, I thought I was looking at so many different variations trying to sacrifice on this key square here, with the idea of bringing my rook over, but he always has this, and it kind of stops all of my plans. So his knights were quite defensive. He didn't take that way. He took this way, which I found to be interesting, because Now it opened up my rook, but it gives him the option to eventually bring his rook back, even though I'm covering the square, you know, with two pieces. There's all these possible checkmate threats, so he has to be very careful. He took here, and I played knight to f5. And can you guys see why I played knight to f5? Pause the video, try to figure it out for yourself, and let me know what variation you came up with. So there's two variations here that I think are most critical. He played knight to f2, and there's two moves here that you have to consider. There might even be more, depending on how you want to play this. I played knight to e3, and I think it's a good move, but I don't think it's the best move. I think better would have been here, and then played for this. And this is just tough to deal with. It's still a game, of course, and I think White's barely hanging on. With a move like this, or even just coming back, because he's got new variation. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've only got 1, 2, 3. So he's got a lot of defenders, and which is why I went this way. But now if you look, I have a problem. And can you see the problem? It ended up working in my favor, but this, I think, is holding for White right now. It's difficult. It's difficult to see. But yeah, so if you haven't figured it out, I took an escape square away from my knight. So he played here, which was a discovery, and this is the one move that I had missed in my calculation through the whole game. So this is move 25. So yeah, that was a rough move. I don't think I should have been able to do that. And this was one blunder. So I made one blunder in this game, and this was it. And I had to try to come up with a way to maybe solve this problem. Can you find the way that I solved the problem? And then can you find the way that maybe that solution doesn't necessarily work? Pause the video, leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear and see how you were thinking about this particular position. This is a rough one. So if you're coming back and you did make your comments, I played e4 here. And the idea was if he takes, I'm going to take. And then, but he can just take here. That's the problem with that. But I can play here now, and it's still a game. Is it bad? No, yes and no. We're doing okay, but not nearly as good as we could have been doing had we played this a little bit better. But that didn't play out that way. I think that's the most critical line in the position, but he took and I took. And I expected him to take back with the pawn, but he took back with the queen. And can you see the next move? That's just absolutely devastating. An engine could probably hold on to this. I don't know what the evaluation is here, but it's really rough for White. So if you didn't see it, or maybe you did, if you commented and you got it right, congratulations. I played queen to c5, and this is just so rough. Discovery, and he has really no way to stop any of the incoming danger. It's very, very difficult. How do you stop that? So he resigned here, and yeah, overall, I think I really enjoyed playing this game quite a bit. Um, it shows, it really kind of showcases all of the hard work that I've been putting in. Um, I've been spending a lot of time on tactics and things like that. So I did really enjoy our postmortem that I had with Michael. It was really nice. He did tell me that he hasn't had a lot of time to study. He is playing and enjoying and having fun, which is great. He would like to eventually get back to studying and improving, but right now he's just kind of playing for fun and trying to get through playing some games and enjoying his time while he's at the chess club, which, hey, that's awesome too. I like that, and it's always good to play a game with Michael. He's a strong player, and I do have to work pretty hard to try to get some wins off of him, and he makes it very challenging. This game was probably one of the better games I've played, probably in my life. I felt really, really strong in this game, and thanks to Michael for playing such a good game. Thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate you guys following my Road to Class A journey. If you've reached this far in the video, please make sure to like and share. It shows me that you like this material and you support what I'm doing and you'd like to see more. So thank you very much, and have a great day.